Hey guys, it's Melissa here from melissaoatman.com. Welcome to another episode of Awaken Your Inner Awesomeness, a weekly podcast devoted to all things spirituality and self-improvement. I am so delighted you're here with me today. Today I want to talk about a topic that I think is weighing on the hearts of a lot of people, and that is facing grief and fear in a divided world. We just had a major election. There are some scary things going on, threats of war, weather patterns happening. They've now found aliens in the ocean. I mean, there's so much stuff happening around us. It is no wonder that the energies are heavy and our heads probably feel like they're spinning from everything. And as you know, I try to stay away from politics in this podcast because I'm more about mindfulness and how we can make improvements to our lives. However, I feel that many people are probably feeling scared or feeling these heavy emotions. So I wanted to do an episode today to let you know that it's okay to feel what you feel and to help you work through what it is you're feeling. How do we process this? How do we let go of what really isn't ours? And how do we focus on what we really want in our lives instead of focusing on everything that's going on around us? Because honestly, a lot of it is a distraction. And it's hard not to be if you're watching the media at all, or if you're on social media. You're probably seeing a lot of things happening right now, and it's maybe causing you anxiety. Maybe you just feel a little uneasy. Maybe you're fearful, whatever. Maybe you're grieving. After this election, some of you were probably experiencing a large amount of grief because the person you wanted to win didn't. And other people may have been celebrating. And it's really tough because we have become so divided as a nation. We need to try to come back to a place of peace. I know personally, I have family members who say, oh, I don't want to speak to anyone if they voted for the person that I, didn't want to win. It's tough. I get that. You can set boundaries with people, but hating and all of those things, as much as it's easy to fall into that trap, we really have to put our focus on other things. When you spend all of your time being afraid of what might happen, filling up with so much hate and fear and all of those things, it doesn't do anything but weigh you down. And that isn't to say that you should just stick your head in the sand and just not do anything. I don't mean that either. And I'm going to talk about how you can use what you're feeling to better the world. We'll talk about how you can do that in a bit. But I'm saying that it isn't helpful to argue with people. So if you have family members, if you have friends, if there are people on your social media who are antagonizing you, or you're constantly getting into arguments with people, you need to shut that down. When we argue and when we engage in those kinds of interactions, we're lowering our vibration. And I know that many of you are hoping to manifest really amazing things in your life. You're not going to do it engaging in that way. The other thing is that it spends your energy. When you get into an argument with someone, I know, at least that's how I feel. When I get into conflict with someone, and then especially somebody who doesn't see my point of view anyway and is not going to change their mind, when I argue with them, all it does is leave me feeling drained, completely exhausted. So don't do that. How are you feeling right now? Check in with yourself. It's okay to feel the things that you feel. It's okay to feel disappointed. It's okay to feel grief. Grief, we think of when we lose someone physically, but when something doesn't go your way and there's an outcome that you weren't expecting, you can experience grief from that too. I talk about that in my book, Beautiful Morning. Grief has many different forms. We can grieve someone that we lose a relationship with. We can grieve the physical loss of a person. We can grieve the loss of a job. We can grieve the loss of our health and vitality. There's so many different ways that we grieve. So you may be feeling right now as though you're going through the grieving process, and that's understandable. And for some of you, maybe you're not. Maybe you're super happy. That's okay too. I mean, you have to feel however you want to feel. I just know that for many of us, the energies are heavy, and everywhere you turn, it's like people are freaking out. And that can cause you to feel very uncertain for the future. What are we going to do? What's going to happen? So I want to talk about the importance of not focusing on what is not in our control. I want to talk to you about how to deal with that uncertainty and how can you stop allowing everything going on around you to be your world, to impact you, to have an effect on you. It's really a difficult thing because we're constantly taking in information. We're constantly taking in stimulus. And what we don't realize is we subconsciously take in a lot of things we don't realize we're taking on. When you're watching the news or you're reading an article or you're reading someone's post, you're taking in all of this stuff and it's having an effect on you. You may not realize it at first, but it really does. So it's important right now for you to limit the amount of contact you're having with the negativity. I know that personally, sometimes I just have to take a break from the news. I know we have to be informed sometimes, but honestly, I don't feel like the news media really reports things accurately anymore anyway, and I feel like they're always trying to come from an angle of fear because that's what sells. So sometimes I would rather just not tune into the news media. Sometimes I have to unfriend and unfollow people. Sometimes you can unfollow. Unfollow is different because they don't know you're not watching their stuff and you're still friends with them. But there were quite a few people I just unfriended after everything going on, just because of the nonsense they were posting. It was just mean and just hatred. I don't care who you voted for. You don't have to post cruel things. So I just unfriended them and I didn't feel bad about it at all. And I think that sometimes we need to set boundaries for ourselves. So sometimes it's okay to unfollow and block people. Protect your own mental health. That is super important. And don't feel one bit guilty about that. You don't have to be mean to people. And this is something that I was trying to explain to my daughter because she's very upset. Being a young woman, she wanted to see a woman succeed. And to her, it gave this message that women are not good enough, which is not true at all, of course. We know that. But it gave her that message and it made her mad. And so she had an attitude of, I don't want to speak to anyone who didn't vote for her and I don't want to do this. And I had to have a conversation and say, it's okay to limit your time around people that you don't necessarily want to be around. And it's okay for you to still be, you don't have to agree with them. You can still be polite. But it doesn't mean that you have to give them your energy. And you may be saying, well, what does that mean? It means you can go to a function where you know someone else is going to be, even if you don't really like them and you don't like what they stood for. You can be polite to them when you see them. But you don't have to engage and you don't have to have deep conversations with people. You can protect your energy. And some people are taught, like, oh, if it's family, you have to show up, you have to do that. You don't. Sometimes some of the most toxic people in our lives can be our family members. And part of what we came here to learn how to do is set boundaries for ourselves, to love yourself enough to say, I'm not dealing with this. It's not good for my mental health. And so I'm just going to set this boundary. I will come over for the holidays, but that's it. I'll be polite. I don't have to stay long. There's no sense in doing all of these things you don't want to do if it makes you unhappy, because that's the point is, what is it that you want your life to feel like? And that's when I want to get to my second point, which is you need to let go of what you can't control. Because when you try to hold on to it and you try to do all these things, you're just going to make yourself miserable. Now, I would suggest to you that one of the things you could do as a collective is to focus on what you would like to see. That's kind of what manifesting is, right? Oh, I want to see this happen. This is what I would like to see happen. Put your energy and focus on what would be an outcome for you that you would like. And what I mean by this is, like, I want to see more peace in the world. I want to feel more love. I want to feel more this. Focus on those things, because focusing on the hate and the anger, while I totally understand it, isn't going to bring the outcome that you want. And if you believe in the law of attraction, you need to be focusing on what you want to call in. And so for me, that would be focusing on, I would like to have a leader who brings people together, who is peaceful, who, just focus on that. Because at least we're co-creating with the universe. We're telling the universe what we want. Focus on what you want for yourself. Turn that energy back to you. Okay, put your attention back on yourself. If you're not happy with the way things are going right now, is there something that you can do? Is there a way that you can be of service, that you can step in and help shift things? I know that after the last election, there were a lot of people who stepped up and they got into helping with politics, or they went out and they joined charities. I know for me personally, after there was an outcome that I didn't really want one time in one of the elections, and this was a long time ago, I went out and I donated time to an organization, a charitable organization that I thought could use the help because the outcome of this election might have affected that particular organization. So I signed up to help and to volunteer and to donate money. So is there a way that you can take what's happening right now and make something that's a negative a positive? Like, how can you help out? Maybe there is something good that can come from this. Maybe you find a way to volunteer. Maybe you find a cause now. Maybe this is an awakening for you, that you find a cause that you want to take up. Maybe there's something about your own community that you feel that there's a need that maybe you can step up and help with. This election and everything that's going on in the world, it's all happening for a reason. It's awakening people to the fact that we need to work on this divide, okay? We need to shift away from all of this masculine energy, and we need to step more into our divine feminine energy. There's a lot of healing that needs to take place and needs to happen right now. And one of the ways that we can help with that is to heal ourselves and to work on ourselves. Also holding the intention and space for healing in the world. That's another thing that you can do. I know that a lot of people who listen to me are healers and you're natural healers. And honestly, I think everyone has healing abilities and gifts. One of the ways we can do that is to take some time out and sit in stillness and hold the world. Hold that world in your mind and imagine just sending as much healing energy as you can. Imagine sending loving and healing thoughts. I think that's one thing that's simple that everybody could do, that if we did this as a collective, we could actually raise the vibration and the frequency of the earth. It would help so many people. We've been hearing so many things on the news about people being selfish and only doing things because it benefits them. We need to embody a unity consciousness. We need to embrace the fact that we all come from the same place. We all come from source. We need to stop being so divided, and we need to start lifting the earth up in love. So put the focus back on you. What is it that you want in your life? How do you want to feel? Do more of those things. And self-care is so extremely important right now. Here are a few things that I would suggest you do for self-care. Number one, and I know some of you are going to balk at this because you don't like writing, but it is so helpful. Sit down with a journal and ask yourself, what am I afraid of? What do I fear is going to happen? Is there anything I can do to avoid this? Is there anything I can do to help with this? From there, you might be able to find some ways that you can volunteer. But if you're looking at something and it says, is there anything I can do to stop this? And the answer is no, then stop allowing it to torture you. Look at what you've written and just say to yourself and to your spiritual team, I let this go in love. This isn't serving me. There's nothing I can do about it. I ask to be released from this burden of whatever it is that you've written down. And I choose to focus on something better. I choose to focus on my children. I choose to focus on my own happiness. I choose to focus on something else, because it's not going to help you. You're just going to make yourself miserable. The other thing that you can do is you could sit and say a prayer for our country, for the world, for the people around you. There's no harm in that. And it would be great to lift everyone up. If everyone would just take some time to do this, I really think it would make a big difference. Lastly, you need to make sure you're doing things that nourish you and make you feel good. So make sure you're sleeping, because I've been hearing all over that there are people not sleeping, and you need your rest. So try to get some sleep. You can take a hot bath with some Epsom salts. Some people like to use the magnesium sprays on the bottoms of their feet before they go to bed. It helps them to fall asleep. I personally do take some magnesium, the magnesium glycinate, before, right before bed, because that does help with sleep. I know if you're in that certain stage of your life, sleep can be a mystery to you. I get that, but there are things out there that can help you. Make sure that you are eating. Make sure, again, that you're shielding yourself from all of the negativity that's around you. I would also do something that makes you feel better, like go get a massage. Go do something to take care of yourself. It isn't selfish. You cannot keep going if you're burned out and if you're emotionally exhausted and drained, okay? Take care of yourself. Now, I wanted to pull a few angel messages for you, because I wanted to give you some messages of encouragement. And so I asked the universe, give me some messages that will help. And I love the ones that came out. So the first one says, don't worry. It's angel number 66. If you have been focused on worry, fear, lack, or any kind of concern about the physical and material world, it is time to switch your focus from worrying about your physical needs to pursuing your soul's mission with joy and optimism. Exactly. Turn that worry and anxiety into activism. Do something to help the greater good. The next card you have is 33, which is anxiety. Do not let anxiety or stress get the best of you, as they will only pull you down into the darkness where fear and panic reign supreme. Instead, stay strong and trust yourself, because the angels have faith in you. Yeah, I know it can be hard, but when you let yourself stay in that place of fear instead of actively trying to find other things to do, and sometimes really distraction is the thing. When you take your mind off something for a little bit, you kind of, you forget about it. What can you do to help others? Always feeling down on yourself and, woe is me. And everybody does. Everyone feels like that from time to time. When you volunteer, it takes that attention away from yourself and puts it on other people. And then we also feel good from helping other people. Your next card is 2222. Choose your path. You need to choose a path and stick to it, making slow, steady progress. This is the number of patience and pacing while working toward a big goal or manifestation. Get all of your ducks in a row. I love that. Exactly. Put the attention back on what it is you want to manifest. Stop worrying about the outer world. And the last card is 404. Be prepared. You need to prepare for the future. You need to be prepared to face the challenges that may come your way with hard work and determination, something which takes mental preparation. Be prepared by doing what you need to do if there's anything that you can do to control what's happening. And if there's not, don't worry about it. Put the focus back on you. Rest assured that everything will be okay. All of the things that are going on have to happen, because the earth is shifting. We are shifting from the 3D to the 5D. And anytime you have change, it's usually uncomfortable. That's what's happening right now. But don't let fear and worry take over. Trust that the universe always has your back and that things are working out the way they are meant to. Time to put the focus back on you. time to enjoy your life again and find things that make you feel happy. Some of you, it's time for you to step up and do what the universe has called you to do. Some of you know what that is. It's time for you to step into your purpose, have patience, choose your path, and trust it. The universe thinks that you are totally ready, and so do I. All right, guys, I hope this message was helpful. If you would like to work with me, I offer half-hour and hour readings. I also have coaching. I have courses online. I have my 10-day intensive self-love course if you need to work on your self-esteem and trusting yourself. I also have my Love Your Life course. That one has 32 daily lessons where I give you a tool each day to use to help you make your life better. And I also, in that course, offer 2 one-on-one sessions with me that are private where we can work on anything that you feel stuck in life that maybe I can help you get unstuck. Also, don't forget, you can get a copy of my new book, Beautiful Mourning, A Guide to Life After Loss. If you're grieving over anything right now, this book is a great tool because it gives you exercises to help you work through grief with grace. I hope you guys have an amazing day. I am sending you guys so much love and light, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, guys.